This week on HomeKit News, the Xiaomi Smart Dehumidifier. No unboxing on this occasion, as frankly it's a plain cardboard box, so nothing to see. Instead we'll dive right in with an introduction to this excellent device. So right off the bat, I should state this is not officially HomeKit compatible, although it will work with Siri Shortcuts and more, which I'll mention later. Before anything else, why would you need a dehumidifier, you might ask? Well, where I live, humidity is an almost constant problem, which can cause a host of issues like these. So in Taiwan, dehumidifiers are essential products. Putting that to one side, let's get the basic specs out of the way, so pause the video if required. It's a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi device, so no hub required, and it has a 4.5 litre capacity water tank. It's also one of the largest products I think I've ever reviewed, and to give you an idea, here's the SmartMe P1 air purifier for comparison. So as you can see, it's pretty large. So what else is in the box? Well, aside from the unit itself, there's not much else. There's a manual in English and Chinese, along with a separate pipe if you want to bypass the water tank. It does look quite plain and monolithic, but all the action is on the top of the device, surrounded by the air outlet grille. The top section has 4 main buttons, with the first being the power button to turn it on or off. Once on, it quickly measures the surrounding humidity and then gets to work. Next to the power button is the mode button, which is from auto mode to sleep mode and to clothes drying mode, which is the most powerful of the three. The third button is for setting the target humidity rate, which can be between 40 and 70%. You can't use this in clothes drying mode, however. The fourth and final button is a delay off button that can be set to turn off after up to 4 hours, although in the app you can set it for up to 8 hours. And finally, below the main display for the current humidity level, there's an LED strip which changes to one of 3 colours depending on the amount of humidity. As you can see, it's in the comfortable range right now. Let's have a look at the controls in the Mi Home app first, and there's an option to turn the unit on or off directly from the tile, and if I tap on it, I'll get into more detailed controls. The unit actually has temperature and humidity sensors, which so far I've found to be surprisingly accurate when measured along with my Eve Room and my Aqara temperature sensor. You also get control over the modes and the target humidity, as well as the delay off control, and you can also set scheduled on-off times as seen here. There's a child lock, screen brightness and notification sounds controls, plus a fourth function that allows the unit to ensure the inner parts are dry before turning off fully. This feature is pretty good, as condensation within the device can lead to mould if not thoroughly dry. As mentioned, you can turn the display off or set it to low, although there isn't much difference between bright and low light I've found. I've already set up a couple of automations that turn the display off and put it into sleep mode, but if you go into the options for all automations related to this device, you can see there's a lot of choice, all of which can be converted to Siri Shortcuts, which I'll look at in a bit. The back of the device is where a water tank is located that stores water removed from the surrounding air. If we pop it out and give it a look, you can see a small retractable handle and a spout from which the water is poured out when the tank is full. On the back of the tank near the handle, there's also a small hatch that can be removed if you want to use the included pipe to bypass the water tank and have the water go down a drain, for example. The included pipe just connects to a hole in the back of the inside of the unit. The back is also home to the air inlet grille, which is also removable. Inevitably, water and dust particles will be pulled in along with humid air, so removing it enables you to wash the screen filter periodically. The unit is quite heavy, so it's just as well that it comes with 4 casters for ease of movement. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm moving it, it's not moving by itself. As the unit has no handles, these wheels are pretty essential. I previously mentioned if you don't want to use HomeBridge, you can still use Siri Shortcuts to control this device with your voice. So if I go into one of my automations, you can see an Add to Siri button at the top. Pressing that brings up the automations along with an Add to Siri button. Once selected, I simply have to type in the phrase that will trigger the automation and it'll show as added to Siri Shortcuts. So if I now go to the Shortcuts app, you can see that particular shortcut has now been added. Along with Siri Shortcuts, you can still get it to work with other HomeKit devices as long as they're also set up in the Mi Home app. Currently the M1, M1S and E1 hubs are also compatible with Mi Home, and as such, Aqara sensors that work with these and work with HomeKit can also be used to control or automate the dehumidifier, although to be fair, the device is pretty much a set it and forget it type of device for the most part. As we use this unit in our bedroom, noise levels are going to be a factor. Now the company claim the noise can be as low as 35 dB, and although my rudimentary tests in auto mode come up with around 45 dB, that's still low enough for me. The most powerful mode is only another 10 dB higher, which wouldn't be set at night anyway, so all in all I think this is pretty good. Finally, to the pros and cons. I have to say the build quality is awesome. It feels really well built and substantial with no loose fitting seams at all, so that's quite impressive. I find Siri Shortcuts is good enough for me to control the device outside of automations already set up, so this to me is a sort of a bonus. I did use HomeBridge at one time, but with the aforementioned shortcuts options, I don't find much need for it. But if you want to, there is apparently a plugin to get it into HomeKit. Unlike the rather expensive LG dehumidifiers we also have, the display and system sounds can be controlled to my liking, which makes a small but meaningful difference, especially at night. One minor niggle is that I do wish the tank was a little larger, especially given how large the device is anyway, but it's adequate. The only negative is that you don't get any extras like you can get with some other dehumidifiers. Our LG has a pipe that allows you to dry your shoes if they're wet, for example. Other than that, this is an excellent device, and if you have humidity issues and this is available in your region, it's a definite purchase, even without HomeKit support. That's our take on the Xiaomi Smart Dehumidifier, but if there's anything I didn't mention, feel free to ask and I'll always reply. As always, if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. And until the next time, stay safe and party like it's 1999. Oh wait, it's nearly 2023.